With the usual amount of isekai anime coming out, we got one of the most influential isekai of all time, and all for the right reasons. We've had many popular isekai anime to come out in the past decade or so, but in my mind, Mushoku Tensei is by far the most important isekai anime to come out. Mushoku Tensei is a pretty memorable show for the year 2021 since there are not many big new isekai anime coming out. It's pretty hard to miss since many people were talking about it, but just for the small percentage of those people who assumed that it was just another isekai, you have missed one of the greatest anime to come out in a while, and let me tell you why this is a must watch for any isekai fan. So without getting transported to another world, let's jump right into the video.
Oh, my eyes. Am I still alive? What are you so excited about?
Mushoku Tensei follows the story of the main character in his mid-30s who was heavily bullied in his school by his family and got depressed and locked himself in his room watching anime who jacks off to anime girls. The protagonist isn't another 16 or 17-year-old NEET, and this separates it from the rest of the other shows. From the get-go, you can kind of tell that this is going to have a dark element to it. And one day, he saves some kids and dies. Can you imagine dying right after doing one good thing in your life? That's so sad. And you know what kills him? Yeah, you guessed it right. It's Truck-kun. For an isekai that is so highly praised, you would think that this was going to be different, but it isn't. You see, Mushoku Tensei was the one that had popularized this trope. Sure, Sword Art Online may have popularized the isekai genre in the anime industry, but Mushoku Tensei was the isekai that had popularized many of the tropes that are shown in modern isekai anime today. Now, in most isekai, they usually skip the part of what happens after one gets hit by a truck, but in this, it shows what happens to his body and later on he is reincarnated in another world as a baby. One of the greatest strengths of this anime is that it shows his gradual growth from a child and the plot naturally progresses along with him. Back in his previous life, Rudius had gone through a lot, and even after he was reborn, his worries and problems didn't automatically disappear just because he was reborn in another world, and this adds a depth to the story, to his character, and only a very few isekai anime do this. But as he meets different people, makes friends, and with his family supporting him, he is slowly but surely getting over his past. The story is great in everything, but the characters are just a bit too horny. We have a lot of horny characters in this anime. His mother is horny, Rudius is horny, she is horny, and his father is the horniest of them all. His father was probably a hentai protag before he got married from the many stories that he has shared. Now we all watched this anime for one common thing, and that was because of the big three. Waifus. Sylvie, who is a cute ball of sunshine and must be protected from the Rule 34 artist, and just look at her, how can anyone hate her? Eris, the lolly royal tsundere who is cute in her own ways, and last of all, Roxy, who is my goddess. She is smart, horny, strong, and has a great sense of humor. Best girl, no arguments. I don't know much about the light novel, but apparently one of them, or better, all of them becomes his lover. Rudius got really lucky this time. But most importantly, I was surprised that majority of the people didn't seem to complain about it being another harem isekai anime, and you know what? I agree. The character writing is pretty well written and the conversations between them feel natural, especially when Roxy and Rudius talk to each other. Reminds me a bit of Konosuba. But the main star and selling point for a lot of people, including the light novel or manga readers, is the plot of the show and how it progresses. The story starts off basic, but due to the immense world building, having a proper culture and proper character writing makes it all the more realistic, and this adds a bit of depth to the story. The first half of the anime was it just setting up the characters, and despite it being shown as a colorful world, a dark side of the world is briefly shown to us and to Rudius himself. There was a scene where Rudius almost got killed and learned the hard way that he had to kill if necessary in order to survive. And this foreshadowed the dark twist it would take in the second half, only getting more serious and gruesome, but it also had some beautiful moments which were heartwarming at times. You know how most of the side characters in isekai anime are treated as NPCs? Here it's a bit different. I don't want to give it too much credit, but the characters that resemble NPCs are shown to be very few in the anime so far. Getting back to the main topic, a lot of the main story is being developed in the second half of the show, and there is apparently a demon lord as well, because why not, right? Now, it would be a sin to not talk about its beautiful animation. Majority of the fights are the animation quality is just so beautiful. Studio Bind is a new anime studio that was founded for animating this particular series, and it has a lot of big names behind it. The fight choreography is really well done, and if you mix it with their smooth animation, it's all over. To top it all off, we also have great soundtracks. They really do level up the anime. Also, mixing the anime opening in the episode was a fantastic idea. With this, A, we get more footage in each episode, and B, the studio didn't waste their budget in animating the opening. It's a win-win situation. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation is a complete package which has almost everything an isekai should have, and it reminded me that not all hope is lost for the isekai medium. Sure, the isekai genre is oversaturated and getting boring, but Mushoku Tensei proved that there is still a long way to go before we really get tired of isekai, and sometimes we just need to take a step back and go back to the roots. As always, I'll see you guys next time.